Espera, voy a un poco, Nils. No.
Beleza.
Hello. Good afternoon. Who's there?
Keine Kamera.
Hi there.
Hi, Johannes.
Me? Oh, you can hear me. Great.
Yes, I can.
And here's Raphael.
Hi, Hafa. I see you under the name Helmut. Are you with Helmut?
Yeah, we are together here in Berlin.
Ah, very good. In Berlin. Very nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Hello,
I see
Johannes.
Laura is not there, but she is at least checked in.
Cool.
And let me see, Mara will be joining, and the two Spanish still have to come in. So we will wait a tiny bit. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Good.
I don't seem to be able to start my video on this platform for some reason. Anyhow. So, by the way, thanks, Niels, for your response to my questions. That was really good to get that clarification. I suppose got a bit worried, thinking as like, oh my God, it's like
what do we say yes to?
Yeah, well, what did we say yes to? It's like, do we need to run another program? And going like, okay. But yeah, it did clarify what you said there, so that was great.
Good, very happy to hear that. And you copied two people in the mail. Were they the students that might be participating?
Oh no, so yeah, that's Mekhi and Neil. So Mekhi and Neil are with me. We are the three-director team of Adventure. So they are basically, involved in that level.
Good.
You will definitely meet her. So Mekhi she's fluent in Spanish. She's Argentinian. So yeah.
Cool. Very good. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Neil. And all other people. How are you doing?
Laura, is Vincent joining or not?
I thought he would, but I'm not 100% sure.
There's Mara.
Hi, Mara.
She probably still has to put her audio on.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Laura. Here's Raphael.
I was looking like, who is Helmut? Okay.
Yeah, we are together here with Helmut. He's also with me in the team from Germany, and
okay.
Yeah, we're together.
How are you doing?
Very fine, very good.
I saw your message the other day on the, I think on the page of Instituto Elos.
Which message?
You made like a short video with your wife and baby. For, I think,
for Praia?
Yes.
Yeah, that was funny when we was visiting Elos. That was good.
Very nice.
Very good.
I will just get my cell phone to see whether Vincent has sent me a message.
Hi, Mara. All well?
Video we don't have.
No, we don't have a video, but hi, Niels. Nice to see you.
Nice to know you're there, Helmut. Good. I'm not sure. The connection today has been more, so we might turn off the camera here and there, but it's good to know that everybody's there. Marta will join me in a second, who is here with me in Brazil, and who is representing Madrid. I'm just not sure what's happening to Bilbao. I think they'll be joining soon.
Vincent just sent me a message saying that he will join us a little bit later, but we don't need to wait for him to start the conversation.
Okay. Vale. Hi, Alex. Hola, Alex. Hi. Good. I'm just checking here one thing, and I think then we can already start. Vincent will be joining us later, and I'm just going to check who will join from Altecchio, and then we can start. All right?
One question to Johannes.
Sure.
Johannes, you hear me? You there?
Sorry, yes, I was muted. Yeah.
It's today your birthday.
Yes!
How did you figure that one out?
Skype is telling everything.
Oh dear. All right.
Skype, Facebook.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Yes.
So a big happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You can sing a global song.
Happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Johannes. Happy birthday to you.
Awesome. Good job, guys.
Muy bien. Javier will be joining us from Altecchio in a second, and then we start. But I love the introduction of today. Very good.
Can you send Javi the link of the Zoom, please?
Did you download it already?
¿Te lo has instalado, Javi?
Yes, I'm not quite sure how long you scheduled the meeting for, but I'll need to ring up pretty sharp at 5 o'clock because I need to get down to Devon.
I think in general this won't be extremely long, but I think in an hour we could be done. So I would suppose that we get started a little bit, and people will join us along the way. Is that okay?
Yep.
That sounds good to me.
All right. Bon, I think for today we have 1, 2, 3. I think 4 topics to talk about, but I would like to start with something, somewhat of a check-in, very briefly, but with a specific question. We've set up this program, strategic partnership with the World Community of Entrepreneurs Action Learning Program, which makes a beautiful word called co-help, which I don't think really is a very juicy name. So I think in the next couple of times we'll be working towards constructing a more attractive name that could be central to our communication. So I would like to ask everybody just a tiny check-in of how you're doing, what you're doing, and 3 words that come to you if you think of this program. 3 words of inspiration, and we'll make a little list and play around with it next time. So, and I'll put them in the chat for everybody. So let's start quickly with that, and then we'll move on to the content. Is that clear for everybody?
Yeah, that's clear. I can start. So basically, I'm really well. Thank you very much. It's my birthday, and I guess with work being really busy for preparing for another 9-month program that we're starting in weeks, which will be the first time that will be overlapping. So we have 2 running, one starting in the autumn, one starting in the spring. So that has taken my attention pretty much over the last few weeks. And I guess in terms of the names, I do like the term community enterprise. We are starting to use it ourselves much more. Feels like it's getting much more widely recognized. And then I guess the third word that I just would add to it is something around platform or accelerator or something like that, because that feels like that's what, we're creating a platform for the community to create enterprise. So something around that. Anyway.
Oh, thank you. Javi, bienvenido.
Thank you.
Can you mute? I think there's a lot of echo from your side.
Sorry?
If you can mute, because there's a lot of echo. Vale? Boom. Thank you. I'm here also with Marta.
Hola.
And now Ana joined, so I think we have all the Spanish on board. So we're doing a quick check-in, hearing what everybody's doing briefly, and I asked everybody to share 3 words that would, 3 words of inspiration connected to this program that we can use as input to perhaps make our program name a little bit more sexy. So, next one. Javi, can you mute again?
Yes. 3 words you said? So, my 3 words are impact is one. Joy is another one. And transdisciplinarity.
Trans ¿qué?
Transdisciplinarity.
Disciplina.
I think it.
Very good, thank you. Next one.
It's me, Helmut. We were sitting together the whole day with Raphael in Germany here and thinking about the Oasis thing. And well, what convinced me most was like the one word was elegant. That is about elegance. To be a communal, to look elegant when you are together with your community. The second word was something about challenge. And the third, I would say, is more inner fire. It's one word. Reveal your inner fire.
Thank you. What was your first word again?
Elegance.
Elegance.
Yeah. Elegance.
Very beautiful. Thank you.
The 3 words I was thinking of is acceleration, community, and togetherness.
All right. Thank you, Mara.
Yes, and I am thinking in local participation and social. I don't know if are very much original, but my work.
Muy bien, thank you. And I think we have
Anna.
Belgium left. Vincent, are you with us? Laura, go for it.
Okay. Adding to the, well, to start with, I'm very well. I did a course on development cooperation the last 2 weeks, and I met very interesting people who might hopefully join our team for the pilot project, or maybe go to Warriors, who knows. And the 3 words, let me think. I thought about empowerment and sustainability. And also young, I think. Yeah.
Thank you. We're going to make a collection of words. Vincent, I don't know if you're hearing us. Not really sure. And then we have Anna left, who's sitting next to Javier. And Marta here to
feel.
See.
Mutual learning communities. It's a phrase.
Ah, this is one. Okay.
No, it can be also separated words.
Yes, they are. Marta is in it.
Or mutual support learning community.
Vale. Any last words from Anna?
Don't know. Maybe connection. What are the other words that you have said, but for not repeating? It's difficult. Right now, it's difficult because I'm going to repeat another one.
You can think about it and write them in the chat.
I think it's a good idea.
I can go on and finish. For me, it's ecosystem, inspiring, and entrepreneur.
Good. I'll go close with.
Wait a minute. Niels Vincent is sending a message to me.
Hi guys. I'm sorry for breaking in the conversation, but I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, Vincent. Welcome.
Okay, nice. I'll just try to pick up what we were doing and then go with the flow. Let's see.
Very good.
Okay.
You can close. We were doing a quick starting round to get into things, especially collecting per person 3 words of inspiration that will be the inputs or inputs to perhaps change the name of our program to something more juicy and saucy and sexy. So
Okay.
in a list, I'm adding entrepreneurship, community, and youth. And
Yeah.
I would love to hear, if you think of this program, what are 3 words that come to mind?
Yeah. Okay.
You can also think about it if you need time.
Yeah. I'm just writing things down now.
Okay.
It's okay.
If you're ready, you can write them in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's my. It was just an idea I came on a couple of days earlier. It's just like moving city, if you pronounce it, while you can say social entrepreneurship academy or something for transition, the abbreviation. It was just, maybe it's rubbish, but with more content in it as anagram. So yeah.
It's nice.
And what's the moving part? I like it, but just checking what you mean with that.
Well, just moving as being in change, in transition, in like a moving sea, as we are youth focused. It's a youth focused program of entrepreneurship, of changing things, just like
Cool. Creative. We will pick up on that later.
Well,
Very
yeah.
Good. Thank you very much for this input. I think we will probably have a more. It is a lot easier to be having a creative session when we're seeing each other, but this will already give us some inspiration to play around with. Good. First, next point that we want to discuss. Hi, Rafa. Nice to see you. Is about the invitation that I sent. And but before that, I would love to share some very good news. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago in our last call, we have been talking about co-financing, because in the application it said somewhere that they would only finance 80%, and we've been talking about the additional 20% to be co-funded locally and internationally. Now, I received 2 weeks ago a message saying that there was possibly a mistake from our side in the budget, and basically it came down to the fact that they only offer 100% funding, and that we don't have to look for co-funding. So I wanted to double check that. So that I today learned that the contract will be sent to us soon, and that the first 80% will come in, and the last 20% will be paid at the end, and that it was based on the whole budget. So the whole part of having to look for co-funding to run what we have proposed for is off the table.
Okay, great news.
I would say so. So that is, I think, a very good start of this conversation. I think still that each partner individually can choose to look for funding for the pilot. You know, that is still a part of the coordination. Money available can be invested in running the pilot or in running an existing program in which you integrate the pilot. But if you want more, if you think more is needed, it's still a institutional local decision to be made. If you say we need more, then we look for more, which we will, for instance, be doing in Holland. But if in another country it's not necessary, totally fine. So that's a good start. Two things that we need to talk about, especially today. The first is that I sent to you all on the email sort of a draft presentation invitation. I don't know, did everybody see that? Good.
Yes.
I have to say personally that I found it quite hard to squeeze all the information about this program, including having to feed people with the basic information also about the LS philosophy and all of that into 2 or 3 pages. So I squeezed it into a presentation that can be offered with an introduction letter. But I would love to first hear from you on a general level. Let's say, is this a tool that you can use to go to your community or educational partner, or is this not enough? Do we need to add other type of products in order to be able to have a proper conversation? And then the second thing is to talk more about the content. Does anybody have feedback or suggestion on what what was the first attempt?
I think in my point of view, it really captured well what the partnership is about and the project in a very succinct way. And I really enjoyed reading it and brought clarity for me too. So I think that, it did it very well in that sense. I think what still would need either taking out or clarifying is about like the role of the partners, basically. What role do they actually have? Because I think there's some, like, I wasn't quite clear which role the partners would have, and it seems like there's a level of ambivalence of like how involved they would be. Would they run their own? I emailed that to you already, Niels. So that's my first impression in terms of how useful it is to approach partners for this.
So what would you suggest to add another description of their what was expected from them, or is it more about something bullet pointed, or I'm not sure what is missing in that sense?
I just like being really clear on what the partners will do. What is their role as a partner and with their commitment.
Like to take part of the trainings, to have this type of things.
It's in there, but it's good to review it. Okay. And then anybody else?
If I can add something, maybe it's good. Oh.
Mara, can you mute? Okay,
can you still hear me? Okay. To add something, for sure we should have a extra letter besides the presentation for contacting partners. Maybe you could include the very specific tasks and types of engagement we ask from the partners, like sending someone and young people from the organization to the trainings as well, like in the planning, in the later planning. That's, I think, a very specific issue which should be named as well, which could be included for the in the extra letter. I think it's something we will do at least.
Okay, good. Any other suggestions or requests?
Yeah, maybe just the part in the last part of the document the last page that says what do we expect from you, and I don't know if it could be nice also to see to say what do we think that this project is good for, or like not only what do we expect, but also why it's like good for you. But because I think it's different for a community or for a university, or that maybe what we are going to give you, more or less. Is it clear? Or?
Yeah, the freely translated, what is in it for you? What is the impact, or what is the result? And I agree, probably we'll have 2 versions, one for the educational part and one for the community part.
Yeah, great.
Okay. Maybe a question. No, let me close first. Is there any other needs or requests or details that need to be added?
My question is not so much about I could speak with my partner about the project. I had sometimes a question: what is our expectation, especially for the educational partner? What is our expectation of the partner? What should be the minimum involvement or of the organization he should bring in the project?
Our is in that sense us as a partnership, right?
Yeah, us, like we are coming with the project. So some universities are like, oh, nice project. Okay, let's see what will our minimum of expectation, like it's close to what it's close to the requirements, but like, do we have some minimum of expectation, like what we have to give in?
Okay. Yeah. You wanted to add something?
No, something, it's more a question, super practical, like, are we expecting that the people who participate from the partner organizations, including the youth, are English speakers, or are we like planning to have translation for, I mean, not for the local pilot, of course, I imagine that, but more for the exchanges and the trainings, or are we planning translation?
Very good point. I will use this as a bridge to another point. I think for the exchanges, it would be preferable that they are English speakers. I would want to approach it kind of like how we do it in Warriors, where there is at least somebody in the team that can, let's say, translate Spanish to English and English to Spanish back, if there's somebody from Spain who doesn't speak English, or from Germany who doesn't speak German. There's no budget, for instance, to have a translator. There is budget, but I also don't think it would be wise to hire a very expensive translator. So let's try at first to go for that. If it's not possible, we will try to figure a way out.
Yeah, or maybe a bit further, do we require people who will be getting involved to speak English? So just
in the process, you know, the people, the representative from the community, the representative of the educational partner, I would say yes, please. That would make life a lot easier if they speak English.
Yeah,
Can be a limited factor for us many times.
In Spain.
Yeah,
sí.
Because it's not that common that people speak English to be able to have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
We can also solve it ourselves. Like if some of us is going to be there, like translate for that.
Mm-hmm.
Just in terms that, for example, this document we will have to translate it to Spanish.
Yeah.
In order to distribute it.
That was my second question. Okay. I would love to, after it's finished, to send it around to in an open format so people can translate it. Who would want to translate it? So that's already in Madrid. Does it need to be translated in Dutch, German, English? It's already.
I could imagine that it could help to translate it in Dutch, but it kind of depends on the partner, I'd say. Let's see. But I'll translate it if necessary.
Okay. If it's necessary to translate in Dutch, then I'm willing to do it. But I don't know.
Thank you, Laura. Okay. Germany, what do you guys think?
I think we will translate it in German. So.
Okay.
But there's many the information there, also like general description of the project, so it's useful in any case.
Good. Okay. Clear. We will add some details. to the documents. And then we'll send it in the open format, and then Johannes can add things if he needs to add things in English version, or just PDF it, and the rest can decide if it should be translated. And I will set up a very basic draft introduction letter that as well people can translate. Is that good for now?
Maybe on that note, I don't know whether you've seen my question in the chat about because it seems like this section on how we will apply the method in the local context is quite an important one, because that speaks to what we actually will do.
Yes.
So I wondered, before we send anything out to the partners or just get into translation, I think we need to be all on the same page around how that is going to look like in a way. So I'm just wondering whether we could maybe talk about that beforehand.
Yes, a good point. Thank you for that. And I think this was the strongest question that reappeared. So I think it's good to clarify that. I think for now we understand that what the invitation is, that the people, the local partners, whether it be an educational partner or a community partner, as partner up with you as an organization. So there's 3 partners. They go to the 3 trainings. Mm-hmm. And as a trio, you take the first training as an inspiration, an input to design what we call a pilot of application of the methodology that we offer, plus the richness and abundance of other methodologies that have been used by the partners in this group. So it's not just we do Oasis and that's it and here we go, but we're also going to listen to what are best practices from others and how can it blend into something which is beautiful, effective, and has impact. Now, the pilot, also as it is described in the application, there's a lot of space, which means that there is space in terms of if you want to integrate it into an existing program that you're running, or you want to start something completely from scratch. That's one important thing I think to know. And we will use the Alice philosophy and the Oasis and the experience that we have with this similar type of program here in Brazil as an inspiration, as a framework perhaps to adjust from or to play around with. But local partners, so you guys, are free to make a design that fits best in your planning, your organization. If you have 20 professionals available or only 2 volunteers, so to make it something that works, but still, I think collectively in the first meeting we're going to decide what are the minimum parameters that we're going to set in order to create something that is not going to be 15 different type of things in the countries. And I think one of the pillars will be the Alice philosophy, but whether it's going to be a program of 3 months or 6 months, that is something that a local partner can decide. Johannes, that was one of your questions. Do you want to have more clarified at this moment?
My feeling was that we needed to talk before we sent the PDF out, and maybe for now we could just edit it in a really simple way of taking out, for example, expected times 5 days or expected pilot phase of 3 months. So those details that might not apply, basically. So maybe that's enough for now, and then, as you said, at the first meeting we can look more closely at how we can create elements of this program that we all can apply in our context, so that we can then compare our learnings about it.
Good. So that really, let's say, the information that you would want to take out or want to be able to take out really applies to the pilot, I would suppose.
Yeah, that's right. Just the specifics, and I'm looking forward to work with everyone to look at these, to come up with these boundaries, I suppose, of the pilot all together when we meet for the first time.
Good.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anybody who would love to add something to it, has a question, has a comment? I mean, this is a point which will be recurring, of setting a common frame with enough space for us to be able to implement it in the right way. And that will be also the learning field with the good parts and also the parts where we'll be having, not tension, but we'll be searching what is it that holds us together. Is there any questions for now on that? Okay. Very good. And I think then we can go to something that we have already been discussing last time, which was the agenda. We sent around the doodle. I think that the dates are set for this year. I think maybe in our first live meeting we can talk a bit more in detail about the agenda of 2016. But one thing is clear, that on 11 and 12 we will be meeting. And I received an email from Laura, which I still have to respond now, is that it under your guidance, supervision, and care, we could be going to Brussels.
That's right. Yes.
Good.
I just would like to know, I don't know if I need input from the entire group about specific requirements that I have to take into account to organize an accommodation and these kind of things. Otherwise, we don't need to discuss it right now, and I just ask you, Niels, if there's anything specific I have to take into account, like location, whatever we might need during that weekend.
Good. We can talk about a couple of things. I first want to check with everybody. This was the original plan, Brussels, and 11 and 12. Does that work for everybody? Are we all happy with that?
Which month was it again?
April 11 and 12. Okay, I see a thumbs up from Spain, Belgium.
It can work in Germany.
Germany. Johannes, is it working for you?
It's yeah, fine.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, but I think the idea would be to spend 2 days I can send you that in the chat. We made a rough setup of what will be the minimum points that we need to take care of. I would propose to look for arrival on Friday in the late afternoon, evening, so we can all be present and really there at, let's say, 9:30 in the morning, and leave Sunday evening if possible, so we can really at least have a full day on Saturday and a large part of the day on Sunday. So it would include 2 nights and a nice arrival, check-in perhaps on Friday, something informal, and we will have a proper start on the Saturday and the Sunday. So what would be the requirements? Again, Laura, you were asking if there's something we should consider. Like, is there people that have specific sleeping or eating things that we have to really take into account? Probably we will have to send around a little bit of a little form that people have to fill in. That will be good to know anyway, for also the future visits. Things like, are you vegetarian? Do you like to sleep on your left or your right side? What else is important? Who to contact in case of emergency. We, of course, don't want any emergency, but it's important to know stuff like that. So let's say, Laura, we will pick that up together. 5 stars hotel for Javier. Thank you. At minimum. King size, right? King size bed for Javier. No, but to be able to organize that in a proper way so that we know that information for the next time. So can we connect on that on Monday, Laura? Is that well in time? Okay, good.
That's perfect for me. I just thought it might be easy if someone has a special requirement like a diet, that they just tell it now because it's fast and easy.
Is there anybody else like to think?
Just a quick question, like who should we bring to that meeting? Like, is it the sort of the 2 main contacts from the organization, or are we looking at bringing already some of our students, or?
No, this is really a representation of the people who is here. So it would be, let's say, preferably you, but otherwise somebody who is your buddy in this project from Adventure Froome itself.
Okay, cool.
And in terms of amounts, I would love to actually check perhaps with Vincent and Laura what you feel like. I mean, the idea is that there's budget available. It's not a lot amount, a big amount. And I think the general idea was to count on 6 people, 1 person from each organization. But that leaves a bit of a stretch also for you to be able to do it in terms of covering the time that you spent on making that happen. You can decide on taking that in a way, or we can also say, or you can also say, no, it's fine, and we use that budget to bring more people in this case. If you understand my point.
Yeah, maybe there we should do a small calculation for the money we have available, and also for the transportation of all of you. I guess it's cheaper to have a couple of more people from the Netherlands or Germany to get in Brussels than from Madrid, for example. So there I think we have to make a small calculation, depending also on the accommodation, what we find, and how we can shift with the money we have.
Shall we then say that if we talk about things logistically on Monday, that we will make that budget, and then you can decide on that, and then we'll send a message around if it's going to be available for 6 or 10 people?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Great.
Sounds good. At some point, I've got a few questions around like how the whole budgeting and money side works, but maybe not for now.
No, good point. Thank you for offering a bridge into the next point that I wanted to bring, is give you a bit of insight in what will the next online meetings and what will the meeting in Brussels be about. I'm going to put it in the chat. Does this work? Because I would love to talk about that, if you can read. Next meeting, basically, Johannes. It depends a bit on the contract. We're still waiting for the details of the contract. Perhaps I can ask Mara a little bit. She was in a meeting of the Erasmus last week, or no, yesterday or the day before. I don't know how much they have shared about that. But we will be talking when we know all the details, then we can all do it in one. So I just put into the chat what the meeting of today was about. We will set a meeting in about 2 weeks where we will be going also a little bit into creating a little bit of a handbook, an internal guide for ourselves, talking about the finances and the reservation of the tickets, because we cannot spend money before the March 1st, because that's the official start date of the program. any costs involved before the time we can't reimburse. So from March 1st onwards, we can buy the ticket. And I think we will start talking a little bit about communication and media. If we want to start communicating this program to the outside world, what will be the tools that we need and want, and what will be the requirements. I learned from Mara that whatever we do, we shouldn't forget to put the European Union logo. And you got a flag or something? A real blue with yellow stars flag? Wow.
It's nice and purple. And we should hang it everywhere, they said.
With every event? Oh my God.
Also take it in the airplane.
Take it in the airplane, yes. Okay. So that will be our next meeting. Further in March, we will be talking about contracting between the organizations, what are responsibilities, how will payments will be, what does need to be signed amongst ELOS and all the participating organizations. And then the last online meeting will be preparing actually for the visit in April. And we will be starting to talk a little bit more about reporting and measuring, because we want to do a proper measuring of our results in the program. And it will be one of the topics that we will be tackling during our visit in Brussels. Sorry, this is an assumption. I would like to check right now with Belgians. I'm saying Brussels, but where would actually be the best place for us to meet? What do you have in mind?
Well, I think Brussels is the easiest transport-wise for everybody to get there. Although we can imagine Antwerp, where both Laura and me are based, is also an option. But then you have an extra hour transportation to come there, to get there, and to go away. So, yeah. I think the more important question is, do you want accommodation in the city, or would you like to have a place just in nature, which is also an issue, if this is an issue at least. But I think we started out with the idea that it would be Brussels, but yeah, Belgium is not that big, so.
So Antwerp, nicer.
Well,
sorry, somebody added something?
Raf, I think.
Yeah, I said I love more Antwerp. Nicer than Brussels.
But he loves
Antwerp.
What is it?
Helmut, can you repeat? Sorry, I didn't hear.
I just said I prefer more Antwerp. It's nicer than Brussels, but just feeling side.
Good. We will solve it next week. Okay, good. So Belgium. Maybe I've said this before, but I want to repeat for clarity's sake. Also, maybe for Johannes, who wasn't here last time. So, what will the first meeting be about? It will be really about community building amongst ourselves. Listening also more to the background of all the organizations. People know a little bit about some, but not about all. So connecting with each other, then also deepening a little bit more the dialogue on the purpose of this program and what our vision really is with what we want to do with this. There's a vision written in the document, and that's great, but it only serves as a basis for internal anchoring, and we'll make some space for that. From that, actually setting in the program goals and evaluation points, so we can also backcast from that and measure, have we reached our goals at the end of the program. There are some goals already set in, again, in the proposal, but I think in order to do it in a proper way, I think we have to relook at it again and also think about how are we going to measure that along the way. What are the practices that we're going to be building? I would love to ask Mara in a minute about something that she learned about in the Erasmus Plus meeting, because they are offering some sort of tool already, which maybe makes our life a lot easier.
To evaluate.
Yeah. if I understand well. And we will start talking about the learning platform that we want to build for ourselves, close the planning of the year, sign the needed contracts, and enjoy our time together. So that will be Brussels.
Nice.
Mara, you were in a very boring, long, but still kind of informative meeting. Can you tell us maybe some things that we need to know about Erasmus Plus in that sense? And I would love to especially hear about the mobility tools or something that they're offering in order for us to already work on reporting and measuring results.
I don't know, they're offering a kind of tool that's called the mobility tool, and it's kind of a digital format for the old for the old reports that you had to hand in at the end of the projects. But I don't know if it's very handy to speak about it today, because it's super complicated, full of bugs. So it seems not to be working the way it should be yet. We spent 2 hours of complaints from people who have been using it. So I think it would be good to wait a little bit longer before we start using it. And I think mainly it will be put on your name, Niels, because you're the main applicant, and you can give access to other people to use it as well. But it's mainly to register all the mobilities that we have been using, so all the travels, all the costs, kind of a registration system for everything we spend like that. And the idea is that at the end of the project, you push one button and the report is almost done. But that's the theoretical idea, and I heard that it's not working that way yet. Let's see. We'll still have 1.5 years before it has to work. So, yeah, that's all I know about it.
Okay. Was there any other interesting things that we need to know of?
Not really, except for if you're planning to do another. Hand in another project for funding, then I do have some tips on that, but I don't think that's necessary now.
Okay. Thank you for that. I guess then we'll have to wait a little bit and do some additional homework. I put in a previous mail that I would be researching some of the existing European tools, European Union tools that they're offering. There are more. There's Youth Pass, there's ECVET, and all kinds of great tools that actually at the end of the day create the possibility for participants in the program to prove that they have learned something, or not even to prove it, but to give it a certification without you having to go to school, like to go to your official university. It's more that giving value to your learning experience outside of an existing
non-formal education.
So we're going to deepen that. I think it is especially interesting for the local partners and the students that will be participating. I would just like to ask, before we close, because I think we're for now already gone through the most important things. Does anybody in previous programs have used either Youth Pass or this ECVET program, and what's your experience with it? If not, then I'll be going around. That's great. Anybody have anything interesting to share? Johannes?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, I had, as a participant from a Youth in Action program activity, had the option of applying for the Youth Pass, European Youth Pass, and you just have like to explain which capacities you have been training, and then like they send you to your house a certificate, but I never received it.
Another
I
bug
don't
in the
know.
system.
No, but I think no, it was more because the local partner didn't send them in.
Yes, in our organization, we usually develop youth exchanges, and we always send youth pass to the participants and leaders. And if the web platform don't give you problems that maybe will do it, it's really easy to generate these certificates.
So it's
Do,
more.
do you think it's valuable to have it? Like, does it create any value for those who use it and have it?
In Basque Country and in Spain, I believe that it's not very useful, or it's not very accepted for schools or universities or companies. But maybe in I believe that in other European countries, it's more useful.
Thank you for that. Cool.
I mean, it's the certification that you took part of the training. Some people could be
Could add value. Okay, we'll try to figure out a little bit more about it. We'll do some research on the how is it called again? This thing from Erasmus Plus, Mara, the tool that was developed. Mobility tool, right? To see which tools we will be implementing and using over the course of our partnership. Okay, I would like to close with something, make a round past everybody about who currently is in your mind, who you would intend to invite, just to hear a little bit about where everybody is in that process, and to see what would be our potential future semi-local, semi-international partners in this project. And but before we do, I'd just like to ask, is there anything that anybody else would like to ask or share before we do this closing round? Is there something important to add or ask? Otherwise, we speak to each other in 2 weeks from now or something like that, and I'll send another doodle. Anything important to add?
Yeah, just one question. I didn't listen about the co-funding. Where is the who give us this co-funding? Or
one more time, what was the question?
Yeah, who give us this co-funding that you say that at the beginning of the meeting?
So we first we applied for a whole budget. 80% was what we asked for, and then they told us you don't ask for 80, you get 100%. So basically, what we first thought we had to co-fund ourselves, we don't have to co-fund anymore. The whole program, as it is funded. So that's the situation. I think that's a good situation. Yeah. Is that the answer that you were looking for? Okay.
I just say I'm really sorry because I need to rush to another meeting in Devon now. I need to ring off, not to be late. So I'll listen to everyone's input about the last question in the recorded version.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Just wanted to say also very appreciative of how you set it up and where we got with it so far. I'm really looking forward to meet you all soon. Okay, goodbye.
Thank you, Hannes.
Bye.
Bye.
My question is was about the partners, like the educational partner that is bringing students, and like, for example, which is like, is it defined like the age of the youth in terms like if it's a low education organization, imagine a school or high school, that will be underage youth, or it has to be overage youth, I mean overage years old. So more in those terms to Like if it can be a school, or if it can be, or has to be superior education.
I can say something about that in terms of what they said in the partnership. The partnership meeting, they said that it can be used anywhere in between the age of 13 up to 30. So it's quite a big range of what you call youth.
For sure.
The only thing is, no, that you will need more if they're underage, like to take supervisors or something.
Yeah. I think it would be very interesting to look at high school as an option, but then would choose to go for the a little bit older part of that, let's say 16, 17, 18. That would be my first thought right now.
Okay.
I didn't actually didn't consider it. I think my point of view had been to look at university age, let's say 18 to 30. But I think for me, it has to do a lot with motivation and dedication. If that is in place and if people are wanting and willing, that's a very important part.
Okay.
Any other last questions?
I have a doubt with the local, like with the neighborhoods. So we need to look for a body, I mean an association or something like that. So we need like a body partner.
What I think you're now talking about the community, right? And what would be? Are you asking what is the legal form, or are you more talking about what type of representation we would be looking for?
No, so it's just that we are going to be 3 partners in each city, or so here we and the educational partner and the community partner. So this community partner, we need a legal frame, like a legal organization, or could be, you know, like.
Good question. I'm just thinking of the practical side to it, but in principle, it doesn't need to be an official association or something. I think what is important is that it is a group, or it could be an organization, but it should at least be, let's say, a community group that is represented by a person, somebody who's not a youth per se. Could be a youth worker, but could be an active community member. It could be people from Estaturuna Plaza, no sé qué, something like that. Or it could be, let's say, a real youth working organization. So I think as long as they are representing the neighborhood in a professional, proper way. Not professional in the sense that they have a job, but they're doing it. They're involved. That is enough of a criteria. And they don't need to be reported in the system as a partner with a code and a number of being subscribed to the National Registry of Companies and stuff like that. No.
But just as a person.
As a person, yes.
Okay.
Answer this question. Can it be social worker in general, or need it be focused on YAUs?
Well, I think it's important to consider that they should be able to reach out, mobilize, and involve youth. If they're a social worker working with elder, I don't think is the right person. But does that answer your question?
Yeah.
The youth comes from the institution.
No, I suppose.
No, that I was thinking that the youth can be involved through the educational organization also. So, and the community, the people from the community that perhaps are leading, they're not per se involved in youth, but youth are going to be connected to that community through them.
As it was written, was that the community organization also is able to mobilize youth from the community?
From the community and people from the non-formal education. Ah, okay.
Preferably, I think we can be a bit flexible with it because it's a hard thing. But I would love to see that we stick to that principle. Yeah.
Yeah, there's coming together like youth from the neighborhood and like youth from the educational partner or learning. Yeah. I just want to add one organization question. Is the Google group now running, or what is now our communication platform, or what was going on to find this direction?
Very good point. Google group. Well, I think there was a question about working with Google tools that we decided to look for some alternatives. And I think that Conchi was going to look for it, but Conchi actually won't be actively participating in a strategic partnership.
I can look for them.
And I just heard that Marta will look for some alternatives. So for now, we will continue with our, let's say, direct emailing, but we will start something comparable to Google Mail soon. Okay.
I sent you some. I've offered some suggestions. I sent you some options.
Ah, yeah. Oh, sorry. When did you send that?
No, I will. I think I will already, but I make. Let's come up with something. Good.
Great.
Good. Last question before our closing round. Okay, cool. Now I would just like to check out in a way, just listening briefly from everybody. What are your current ideas about who to invite on the educational and the community side? What are the current thoughts in your organization of where to start the search, or who do you have perhaps already contacted or have in mind? And we close with that.
Maybe I shall start. Laura, feel free to interrupt me because we're like doing it together a bit. I think we had listed and contacted already a couple of organizations. The first is Endeavor. Those are a couple of research architects, development, while they're doing research, and they're also trying out new participation processes for change, city development and change on community basis. And I know one of the guys who was involved with it, and they were really, really interested when I came up with this strategic partnership. So I think we will contact them. They're also related to a university where they're doing PhD research on it. So that's one of the names. Another organization is Make Sense. It's a global organization who are working around social entrepreneurship. They have some other methodologies and stuff, so we're meeting them and see if we can cooperate on it or not. Then a third is Good Planet. They have a lot of first-line education on sustainable development for youth, like both secondary school and a bit older. But so they're also more educational institution we would like to contact. And then with regard to the communities, we didn't really decided yet where to look, in which city or which place to look. There are some communities who already have some organization around it. Also Endeavor, they are working with a couple of communities who are already involved in projects, so maybe we can start there. But there we don't have contacted yet. So Laura, do you have anything to add?
Yes, so last week I got in touch with another organization who is called Studio Global. They do similar things like Good Planets, and they also have like educational programs and workshops for high school and university. So that's in terms of educational institution. And I'm trying to see if there's some youth working organizations in communities, but it's, I have the idea that it's very local, so it's harder to find them. That's it.
Thank you. Would like to go next?
Yes, our educational partner will be EDE Fundazioa, that is a big foundation that work here in Biscay, and they usually provide trainings or other kind of activities to young people. So I give you the link. Maybe it's...
That's nice. Great.
And the community partner, we have to think and talk with some organization, some local organization with whom we usually work. So in few weeks, I expect close a community partner.
And that will be in Bilbao itself, right? Or will it be in a nearby area?
It will be in a close town near to Bilbao. 30 kilometers or 5 kilometers, no more far away.
Cool. You want to know?
Yes, but
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Alex. Who's next?
I can go next. From the local partner side, we are. I had already the the request of a group in Leipzig, which are really Oasis interested, and it's one kind like a group of change agents, and on the other side, it's a girl. She's working in a social. She's doing social work, like a social worker. She's have like a and she's in an organization of the church organization. So we are looking for this community. I will visit next week and really to see the place, the community, and to get in touch. So that's aside from the community option. It's in Leipzig. And educational partner, we are at the moment, we have an option to cooperate with the Institute of the TU Berlin, University in Berlin, for it's like a societal change or transformation, or what they're doing.
This Fachgebiet, this area we are working with, they're like cooperating between science and society. They are trying to link and bridge those two institutions, or like those two stakeholders, and like bring scientists to the society and make science work in the society.
And the option, it's like it will be then also connected like that's a little bit the question, how will be the involvement? Like it will be perhaps like an summer school of students or of urban design students, or in this case like an open student project or something. It can be involved in the sense in the framework of university. Like that's like question also what that was also my question. What's our expectation? Which form it should take out of the partner? So that's an option, and we are thinking about.
Nice. So primarily Berlin, I hear, right?
Could be, yeah.
Technical University in Berlin.
Yeah.
Danke.
But by the way, the Technical University here in Berlin, they have got a cooperation with the USP, with the Universidade de São Paulo.
USP.
Yeah, with the USP, yeah. They are working together already a long time, so that's why they really liked the idea. And about this collaboration, they are already working together with the ELOS Institute in Brazil somehow.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
that's worth researching.
They do some urban gardening projects in Sao Paulo. Or there's an initiative which is called Cidade Sem Fome, and they are working together with ELOS. But this Cidade Sem Fome project is working with the TU with the USP.
Some connections,
yeah.
Some crossing points.
I just didn't hear the name of the project really well. Perhaps you can write it in the chat.
Cidade Sem Fome.
Cities without hunger.
Cidade Sem Fome. Tá bom. Okay.
Yeah.
I was listening with my German ears. Okay. Thank you. Madrid, Amsterdam.
Well, what the TU Berlin would like to do very much, they would like to make another funding for them, so they get money as well. But we have to see if anybody wants to write a funding proposal. Yeah, but at this point, if they don't get any funding, they can't. They only can do this lecture. That will be a lecture of 2 years about Oasis theory, and this lecture will be made by Christoph, who at the moment is also in Sao Paulo. He knows the theory, but he is a student, an urban design student, and he will give the lecture. So there will be credit points for the students participating, but there won't be too much involvement from the TU Berlin institutional side, except if we get some funding, then they would do. Yeah.
That's again my question about our expectation. Like, how much should really, because the big universities, they are quite bureaucratic sometimes, and yeah, that's.
I think this deserves a more deeper conversation that we have maybe one-on-one. And I think that is an invitation for all. If you're in doubt or in some deeper questions related to the relationship or what is expected, feel free to send a message, set a Skype one-on-one, and we will talk about it more in detail. This seems very interesting, but it has some sides that we have to dig a bit deeper into. Can we go to the next one?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Shall I go? So Niels, please fill in any details if I miss out. We're currently looking at 2 different forms of educational partners. One really in the formal education institute, which is a University of Applied Sciences, I would translate, in Amsterdam, and that would mean that we would choose our community in Amsterdam as well, in which there are some possibilities of areas where we're doing Oasis games coming spring, so we could kind of add on that. Another possibility is to look for 1 or 2 more informal educational partners like Starters for Communities or Team Academy, which is much more about social entrepreneurship and youth. So we're researching both at the moment and hope to have more clarity in the coming 2 weeks, I'd say. Do you have anything to add to that, Niels?
No, I think we were perhaps considering some other cities, but this is the basis for now. This is where we start, and if it doesn't land, then we will look for other places. But even if Holland is not as big as Spain or Germany, they would still be quite far away for a lot of practical things. So this. So maybe to add, we are looking at places where we already are doing a project, and where the pilot will be a next, like the re-evolution in that sense of the work in that community. Last but not least, Madrid. On which side, who's gonna take?
Marta, do you want to, or
Well, we have had.
shall I go? Okay, go.
I start Javi, and then you.
Yeah, great.
So we have been thinking of different options. We had like also the questions about the age of the people, because we have connections to connect with schools that are like, yeah, that are aligned social ecologist line of schools, but also like we don't know if they have, well, they do have secondary education, but we still haven't connected. We were also thinking about the university, like involving some teachers that could be interested of certain subjects. And yes, also happy with another university he's working with, like let's see the options, but we still haven't really like choose or picked none of the partners, not because we were also like yet not knowing if does the to see if the institution, like if it's a school or that, like the best will be that they are connected to the neighborhood they are situated in or less. So yeah, like we are in the research of that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically it is like two different universities and also two different foundations that work, that each foundation has a lot of schools and high schools working with. And yeah, so these two different foundation, one of them is with Marta, that they have really a nice job about ecological and social issues, so they can fit. But now also we are working with another foundation that is a huge foundation that has about 100 schools on all over Spain, like a lot. But we don't enjoy so much like the way of thinking of them. So we are trying to understand which is the best. But this foundation, this big foundation, they are gonna apply probably the kind of an oasis in with their students. So could be good, but we don't really know if they fit in the project. And yeah, and also the universities could be nice. There is this professorship, UNESCO professorship of environmental education and sustainable development that we are working with, and maybe they have like a subject that they work like with practical projects with the students. So maybe this project can fit with the practical projects of the students that they should develop in communities. That here in Spanish we say aprendizaje servicio, that is learning, service learning or something like that. Aprendizaje servicio, that is like when you do like kind of voluntary service, but in a learning process. Something like that. I don't know how to explain in English, like the proper name, but maybe it could be also a good partner for this. So it's just thinking about what is the best.
Cool. Thank you. As I was just thinking, it would be nice that for the next meeting, in preparation, people that have, first of all, if you have considerations, questions, doubts, feel free to connect. And if you have serious options, or maybe even already chosen organizations and partners, like Alex, to send the link and send some information, so we start collecting a little bit of insight into those partners and seeing a little bit what starts to appear. Would be nice to know who you're getting involved.
Has to be 6 pilots.
Has to be 6 pilots, and why are you asking?
No, just thinking of territorial connections and see if.
I was thinking in terms of Bilbao, Madrid. That can be perhaps because it's also the same country. Well, that's another perspective, but there could be collaboration. I thought about Belgium, Holland could be, but let's first see what are the opportunities and to do 6. And if there's real difficulties, there can be cross-border collaborations. That are
Yeah. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, we can just prepare like a path document or something to put these ideas, because I think for us could be really nice to really understand which kind of partners do we have in the different countries, just to fit that maybe it makes sense to choose one partner or not. It depends on the other partners of the other countries. So maybe having just, like a collaborative document to put the ideas could be really nice.
Good idea.
One question more. Will there be an agreement between us and the educational partner about the project, like a project agreement or something? Is that?
I would suggest so, and I think we can set up a basic framework. But I think if it's an agreement between, let's say, Ideen Hoogdraai and the University of Berlin, I think you probably have some local framework you have to put it in. If you understand what I'm saying, at least already in translation of language. But I would definitely propose so, because it would just make it a little bit more. It gives the commitment a little bit more shape.
Yeah.
So that not after the first training they think, we're out, and then you're stuck with a problem. I mean, at the end, I think it's about relationship, but still it would be good to have something that backs that up. Just for clarity's sake, I think contracts are a lot about what ifs and creating a lot of clarity so that doesn't get in the way of the relationship.
More like a commitment, like mapping the commitment. It's more, yeah.
Good.
Do you agree to
Pirate Pad, last point.
Sorry, just a quickly doubt. In budget, do we have some budget for the educational partners? So to what?
Some money for the educational partners for what? I didn't hear.
For their time.
For their time?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, just for the time, or if we have something, money to offer them, like for being in the project, for the time for working on. Just a doubt is not.
Yeah. In principle, not. It's not written this way, nor is it officially in the budget as the way that the thing works. You can together decide perhaps to redistribute a certain part of the coordination budget that you get, or collectively look for co-funding, like you were looking perhaps with Portugus, to see that you part of that could be going to the educational partner. But, it is not in the existing budget as it is right now.
Maybe they are not interested. It's just for the upgrade.
Good to know. Yes. Bon, we'll work out the pirate pad. You know how to make a pirate pad? It's very easy, probably, but I have no idea. And then we'll make something like a collaborative document to start sharing those links. And bon, thanks again for today. And we will be sending the link also of this recording. If you have any doubts and questions, you can always look back. And then it will be accompanied by Doodle. I will put a bit more dates ahead so we know the next 2 or 3 meetings until we meet in Brussels when they will be taking place. Okay? Au revoir.
So Niels, we have another chat on Monday? Or?
Yeah. I'll look at my agenda and send you a reply on the mail that you sent. Is there any preferred time for you?
No, anytime, I think.
Okay.
Yes, anytime.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Helmut?
Thank you very much.
Helmut. I didn't recognize him. Oh,
Yeah, but he cut his hair.
Didn't recognize you too. It's funny, yeah, but now I see. Yeah, hi.
And now I recognize you in Brazil. Or you are in Spain now?
I'm in Brazil.
Crazy.
Yeah. How is Barbara?
I send you a picture.
Yes, please.
And Helmut, you also have somebody with a big belly next to you, no?
Yeah, I do. How do you know?
Awesome. Qué bien.
When it's due for you, Helmut? June, no?
Yeah, we have the two Oasis puppies. We have the two Oasis puppies.
Daddies.
Yeah, no, it's really, I'm looking forward. I mean, for me, it's not, I'm not that in, so I don't know how it will be, but it will be somehow. Well, yeah, no, it's nice. I'm looking forward.
Congratulations.
Very good.
Thanks.
Nice.
More.
So.
And you will stay in Brazil now sometime, Marta?
Yeah, until the 20th of March.
Wow, very nice. That's good. Beautiful to see you together. Very cool.
Hafa, do we talk sometime soon? You had some more questions, right?
Yeah, this African and school thing. Let's have, I don't know when you have time, the weekend or Monday. I don't know when it's good for you.
Better after the weekend. Monday's fine.
Yeah, if you can send me the presentation soon, that would be helpful, about schools, that would be help already much. I think that.